Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online, my city don't show me no love, and that's fine. Fuck local radio stations, I got more plays than all of these rappers combined. I'm going again, I've been going in, I'm fed up with so many things, I gotta just let it all out. I'm talking about the shit they've been talking about, telling me I should do this, telling me I should do that, telling me things about rap, talking the truth and that stab in my back that will knock me off track. People below, I've been keeping real, I've been doing what I feel, I've been out here trying to kill every beat, I know I will, everything I'm working on, every night another song, they've been quiet all along, they gon' notice when I'm gone.
Welcome to episode 5 of No False Finish. It is your host, the franchise player, Chris Jones, and we're here with Fletch once again, but we're going to finally finish up and do part 2 of Fletch's interview. You ready for this?
I hope so.
All right. You have said previously that you're a pretty good businessman, which I can totally agree with. We did the FLW People show. We did birthday shows. We've pretty much worked for quite a few different people, and we don't like to have a lot of drama in XCW, so we pretty much trying to quash it between us. In 2005, there was an issue between yourself and Hazard that almost wasn't able to be worked out. Can you go into depth on the issue and why it got so hot so quick? Besides the pepper spray.
Yeah, the pepper spray had nothing to do with Hazard. It was just an incident that happened at the same time. Well, the issue's pretty simple. We were all real young then, 14, 15-ish, all early high school kids at the time. So, it was a pretty wild time. I just met a girl. We started dating. She was actually in and out of XCW through 2004 and 5.
Little Wicked K.
Oh, thanks for the shout out there. Her and I had a, 6 to 8 month relationship. It was pretty serious. It was my first actual serious relationship. I'd have, a few kiddie relationships before that.
Yeah.
This was one of my most serious relationships, and we began dating. We were together for quite a while. She had some mental issues, still does. Not that
runs in the family.
Yeah, yeah. But her and I had a relationship. We broke things off after a blow up. And within literally just a short week or two.
It wasn't even that long.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's something more going on than I even knew. But here you got Hazard driving around town with none other than who?
Little Wicked K.
And obviously with any guy, any bro code, any best friend situation, that's a no-go. Like, you just don't do those things. And I think at some point now over the years we've all kind of went there. We've all kind of tested the waters with our buddies and girls and so on. Me and you had a couple of different scenarios. Hazard's was more severe in my opinion than I've had with anyone else.
Inconsistent.
Yeah. I kind of went and bit him in the ass too. We attempted to work together. We did Extreme King 2004.
Yeah.
And things blew up from there. And instead of it being, the driving force behind ending XCW, we rather went the other way, and it was almost as if it was going to be the end of Hazard in XCW.
Yeah.
But less than a month later, Hazard is with his family on vacation at Kings Island Amusement Park. And what do you know? Who's there?
I don't know this part.
Little Wiki K.
Okay.
Walking around with another guy. Welcome back to XCW Hazard.
Alrighty, so we got that.
Who won that one?
We're switching it up now. Favorite XCW moment?
For me personally, for the company.
For you.
I think the culmination of the EBW storyline was that made me really proud. But that's one of them, but I think more so than anything, number one in my heart and everybody's heart has got to be the debut of the ring.
Yeah.
That set us apart. That took us to a whole new level that we needed to be at.
All right. We're gonna flop backwards again. All right. We used to drink a lot. Particularly, maybe not us in combination, but like I've drank, Cynical's drank, Hazard did pills, DTC drank, you've partied with us. Like, there's certain situations where this got us into trouble. Like, obviously, Hazard was incarcerated. You had to come get me and Cynical personally at a show. DTC wrestles better drunk. What is your opinion?
It's true.
What is your opinion on drugs, alcohol, being involved with our friends over the years?
Obviously, it's gotten more strict over the years. The racier our moves get, the edgier our product gets, the more precaution we have to take. And so over the years, I mean, DTC just progressively gotten worse, which is why you see a lot less of DTC and XW these days. To me, marijuana is not even a drug, so I don't even take that into consideration. I had no idea that Hazard was doing pills and all that stuff during that time, but it's definitely frowned upon. I frown on all of those things.
Yeah.
But alcohol the night before a show, in my opinion, is a total no-no. I would prefer not. There's always the potential of getting up and you're not completely 100%, and then you're putting yourself and your opponent in jeopardy.
It's fucking terrible.
So, we have kind of a little policy about that. So it is frowned on.
Least favorite XCW moment?
This show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
For you.
Probably the situation with Until the End. I kind of felt betrayed.
Yeah.
By a lot of guys who I understand that they wanted to take this leap of faith, try to do something new and go to All-Star and make a name for themselves. I totally understand that. But I feel like the guys were kind of slapping XW in the face. We told them, listen, there eventually is going to be an ultimatum. And they were like, no, that was not what we were told. That was not what we were told. They get in there. We close XCW down. Within a month, they're giving the ultimatum. And I was like, well, I hate to tell you that I told you so.
Yeah.
But I told you so. So for a lot of other reasons, I know we're not exactly great on time with this show. We could do a whole shoot on just that.
Yeah.
So keeping it short, that.
All right. Which leads me to my next question that we'll get to right after this short commercial break.
When the smoke clears and the flashing lights and neon signs all disappear, it's like closing time and the sound of silence is all you hear. Oh, 'cause everyone's gone, trying to make sense. Maybe I got a little lost and got a little reckless, trying to piece it all together while I'm standing in the middle of the wreckage. It's all I'm left with. Burning both ends of the night, just trying to find it. Anything I could to get me higher. When that high starts running out, what goes up must come down. Falling feels like flying till you hit the ground. Got a choice to choose. I should learn to win, 'cause I sure as hell know how to lose. I spend most of my life just caught inside a catch-22. Damned if I don't, damned if I do. Burning both ends of the night, just trying to find it. Anything I could to get me higher. When that high starts running out, what goes up must come down. Falling feels like flying till you hit the ground. I said falling feels like flying till you hit the ground. Yeah, falling feels like flying till you hit the ground.
Japanese arm drags. And another. And a third. Oh. Jesus!
I don't know what to say.
That was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful here. Oh! He's got here. Oh, go for the breath, and he hits it. Oh, man! Check it out! Oh, the Peruvian cutter! That is it! Oh, that's that chinchilla finisher. Right here. Oh, man! That was the final breath. I am sorry. Oh, man, that first one hit him with was the suicide effect. That was my fault. But that final breath put him away. Man. And we're back with the question I have before the short commercial break. Now, until the end is very personal for me. I have not explained myself why it's personal for me. But until the end, we're all there in the ring. We're all pouring. Some of us pouring our hearts and souls, tears, whatever. Were there anybody that you think were just saying it because everybody else was saying it? Do you believe there were some untruthful people in the ring with us?
Absolutely. One of the names you're going to expect for me to say is Carnage, and I actually think that at that point in time, Carnage was very sincere in what he was saying. Obviously, things have kind of changed since then. He's kind of turned to the dark side. That's fine.
Yeah.
Him and Gurky, they went their ways. We went our ways. It's fine. One person to me that stood out that just didn't feel genuine in what they were saying was surprisingly Ryan Grayson. If you watch it back, you just kind of feel like what Ryan Grayson said was very, I don't know. Everybody else was pretty emotional, and he just said what he had to say.
All right. When a new person comes in to XCW, obviously we got to come up with moves, character. We got to help them to try to push themselves to get good. Usually it's in a short amount of time because usually our roster is kind of low. Who do you try to stick them with, like, to help improve their character? Like, if you're in a fast pace, like, we got one show for practice and the next show they're in a show. Like, what is your opinion? Like, who do you want to stick them with to get them where they need to be?
The obvious answer here would be Eternal Darkness, Joker, Psycho Circus Clown, all played by vets behind the scenes. Yourself, Corey Lee, Genocide. Put the vets with them. let them get their moves out, let them get the point across, and then take them from there. Rarely do we kind of go outside of that. And I know that one show we did El Jabronio. But generally speaking, Joker, Eternal Darkness, Psycho Circus Clown are kind of those guys. And Reefer at times, Grim Reefer.
Evan Phoenix. Hair or no hair? Like, not bald, long hair, short hair. Does he need to cut his hair?
Yeah, he needs to cut his hair.
Alright, that's what I thought. When someone gets injured, I mean, everybody has different opinions on this. Do you care when somebody gets hurt? I know there's some controversy with our night show last year when DJ got hurt and his mother wanted to take their light or whatever. Like, what is your opinion about that?
Well, I think there is a difference between injury and crying wolf. I feel like there are times, no pun intended, that Brandon Hobbs cries wolf. There's times where I think he's a little more or a little less injured than put on. I know that Brandon does have a lot of physical issues, and he takes a lot of risk, and he does get hurt more often than other guys. And Stevie Goebel, of course, is another name that definitely comes to mind, and people who, on a permanent, almost on a consistent basis, is injured following their match. And to those people, I think a lot of times it's not looked at as being as serious. But obviously, I care. I care about people's injuries. Corey Lee just came back from an ACL tear. And if you've watched the last couple shows, he was in a 12-man tag team match. He was in a battle royal, and he was in just an STFU segment. And his physicality in the show is very limited. And that's for two reasons. One, we're building for something bigger, and two, it's to protect him, to keep him safe until we feel like, hey, it's time, you've gotten this work in, you haven't had any issues, let's take it to the next level. Tommy Merriman, the same thing. Tommy went against my judgment at Ground Zero last year and performed a cyclone to Brandon Hobbs in the middle of his match. That's a huge no-no. And if you watch back to the normal shows outside of that Ground Zero, Tommy did a contract signing with Brandon Hobbs, did some backstage segments where with his son being abducted, and did some stuff with his wife. And Tommy did not compete physically in the ring until the boot was off and he was cleared for SummerMania. So I care about injuries.
Do you think we had a pretty big injury season that season with Tommy, Andy, and everybody else that was hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's lack of trust or skill with like the other person? Obviously, Tommy's was the Mankind Clothesline Brandon. DJ's was obviously lack of skill because he put his arm down and he broke his whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how Corey Lee got injured. Do you think it's lack of skill on their part or their dance partner's part?
I think that there's a lot of different scenarios. DJ, he did it in practice. He was told not to do that. He was still learning, still getting used to the ring. The ring being a big factor, in my opinion. A lot of guys are new to the ring, and they're still learning, and so stuff happens. But DJ's was not, I wouldn't say carelessness, but it's him not following trainer's directions.
Yeah.
Corey Lee's was a total freak accident. All he did was a simple move. He had his opponent tied up in the rope, James Cerebral. He did a run off the ropes, came up and did like a body splash kind of thing on the middle rope. His knee twisted wrong, out it went. Total freak accident.
Yeah.
Tommy Merriman's was, him and Brandon just didn't mesh on the move, and it happened.
Oh, man.
Look at that! Both went over the rope! Jesus
Both
Christ!
out of the ring right in front of us. The general manager's in us, though. The match is done long enough.
Man, dislocated his shoulder there, going into that count.
Let's fight White lights.
Oh, man!
Oh!
I think every scenario is different. You can't really pinpoint one thing, if it's the one person or this person or so on. It's a matter of, you know, that particular situation. And then those situations, you know, Tommy and Brandon was a matter of their, you know, chemistry in that move. It was off.
Yeah.
So they can blame each other. DJ's, he can blame himself as a lack of experience. And Corey Lee's was a total freak.
Alright. This is something I think it takes a lot to be able to earn the privilege for this. Alright, somebody comes up to you with an idea or to get like creative control, because not many people have creative control completely over their characters. Like Hazard has pretty much whatever he wants over his character to a point, me to a point, but like we all had to like to earn that privilege. So for example, like Patrick, which has shown lots of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Like he comes up and he says, I got this idea, I want to do this with my character. Like how does somebody get creative control for their character?
Well, obviously, there's nobody that honestly has 100% total control of their character, and it's kind of honestly. I mean, I know people feel like you or Hazard or you know Corey, some of the other guys have more creative control over their characters. It may be to an extent that's true because they have more experience. They have you know veteran mentality and their opinions is not more honored than any other guy. It's just more trusted than any other guy. I take everybody's suggestions, whether it's at the bottom of the card, you know, whether it's Patrick O'Reilly, whether it's Stevie Goebel. I take everybody's opinions in consideration, and I either tell them no, and this is why, or I take this situation and I say, we can do it this way, but this is the reason why we can't do it exactly the way you want.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm very flexible in people's ideas. Like I said, there are other guys that have a little more freedom, a little more control over what they do because they're more trusted.
Yeah.
And then others, I like, you know, Venom or Stevie Goebel or, you know, guys like that. I have to be more tame and explain to them, listen, this is why, or, you know.
Yeah. Alright, we got 5 more we're going to get through.
Okay.
One word, well, obviously, if it's a name, it's 2 words. Who do you think is the most improved superstar of all time? Because I've asked this question to a few other people, and, like, they're thinking it's recent. Like, you've been next year from the beginning. The most improved superstar of anybody, and this can include Dylan Bostic.
Well, I was going to say, Dylan Bostic wasn't in XCW, so that's kind of a disqualification right there. Most improved overall, wow. Obviously, someone like Corey Lee comes to mind. He started at the same time as Justin Sane, and we always thought Justin Sane was going to be the star.
And they both started in the Cruiserweight division.
Right. And Corey Lee broke out of the pack, and, I mean, you go back to, like we talked about in the EBW episode, Corey Lee, like 2012, 13, 14, like he was the man. Like, totally untouchable. No pun intended. So, like, I mean, I guess you could consider him as maybe the most improved.
Alright, Corey Lee. Stopping you right there.
Okay.
Best XCW match of all time. From the inception of that 2003 show at Martin Estates to the show that's not made it to YouTube yet as of this recording.
Oof, that's rough. Yeah, when you put 15 years in there, obviously there's more than one.
Yeah.
Standout right now comes to mind, and I'm going to say myself, you, and Cynical from Farewell Show.
I
Probably up there. At least top 3.
Alright. We talked about superstars being stale in the past. All the superstars we had in XCW, who do you think became the most stale? I mean, obviously they've probably improved since then, but who do you think at some point was like the lowest of low for their character? Had nowhere to go, nothing. As stale as fucking bag of Doritos open for 6 months.
There's 3 names. I'll try to keep them short. One was Ryan Grayson, which is the reason we switched to 16-bit.
Yep.
2, you. There was a point in time where you kind of became complacent. We dropped C-Unit from your name. Ramped up Chris Jones a little bit. You were out there burning flags, pissing on people's graves and everything else. That was huge. And another one was Corey Lee, and we tried to do something with him where he was, almost like fighting an addiction to break his straight edge character, and we kind of moved past that and put him into this more movie character role that we see today.
All right, last 2 questions. So, we've made a recent change a while back from Extreme Championship Wrestling to Explosive Championship Wrestling. So, obviously, we don't do nearly as much extreme stuff. That's because we used to go out every show and just beat the fuck out of each other with weapons.
Right.
So, when you see people incorporating weapons in their match more often, do you think it kind of, I don't want to say taints, but do you think it affects Explosive Championship Wrestling?
No, there's a reason behind it. I feel like back in the day, we were less experienced in the ring and with our wrestling skill, so we had to keep extreme in the name to give people the perception of what we lack in talent. We gain in the fact that we will go out there and have Cynical jump off sheds through stop signs. We had, it was a perception thing. And as the years grew and our abilities got better and the company grew, I felt like we went more away from the extreme moniker.
Yeah.
So when we finally got to 2017 and we relaunched XCW, I'm like, listen, we have a ring full time. We have a group of talented guys, yourself and Corey and Tommy and Brandon and all these really talented wrestlers.
Yes.
I felt it wasn't necessary to consider ourselves extreme. Instead, we change our name to Explosive. We give explosive action. We have explosive storylines, and I still find that to be true, whether it was Extreme or Explosive Championship Wrestling. And now the extreme moments are more special. You see more extreme moments in situations like Greed or Summer Mania or Extreme King. The bigger tier shows of the year has more of an extreme feel. And it also gives more meaning to the XCW Extreme Championship.
I agree. Last question. Do you have any advice for the current XCW roster? New guys, veterans, everybody on the list. Refs, announcers?
Sure. I guess the biggest thing is be true to yourself. Be true to the company. No, you're not. You're not being held at gunpoint to be a part of this. But there's a group of guys, whether it be a 20-man roster or 10-man roster, every single person in this company is depending on you to be there. Whether they're working you, whether they have anything to do with you on the card, every person matters. Every person is counted on. And when some guy, comes in and they work a few shows and all of a sudden now they've lost interest or they've, parted ways with the company, it's hurting not only the company as a whole, but the person that they're working with.
Yeah.
In a situation with, say, we'll just use 2 names for example, Psycho Circus Clown and Max Destruction, okay?
Yeah.
Psycho Circus Clown and Max Destruction are having the feud of the year. These guys are just tearing it up left and right. 5-star matches every week. And suddenly Psycho Circus Clown says, you know what? Piss on it. I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, now Max Destruction's put out on his ass. Well, Max Destruction's been having 5-star matches, and he was dependent on you.
Yeah.
Not to mention that now you and Corey Lee are in another feud on the other coin, the other side of the coin, the other half of the show.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to pull one of you guys to now work with Max Destruction to give that same 5-star match that Psycho Circus Clown was giving.
Yeah.
Now, one of the 2 of you are greatly impacted for that reason. And that goes all the way down to the announcers, to camera people, to everybody. Everything that they do matters. Everything is a team. Everything. It's not one-sided. It's not all about me. It's not, I put all of my work in before the show even gets started. And then I'm producing as the show is going. It's up to the talent. It's up to the roster to make the rest of the show happen. And not only am I dependent and the company's dependent, but your camaraderie of XCW is depending on you. And I think that is the biggest thing that our roster should take away right now. Be safe, have fun, and don't leave your friends hanging.
I totally agree. All right, that's all for episode 5. You heard the ins and out of this man's life. I drug it out of him. You're going to join us next time. And I'm going to give you a little hint. We both teamed with this guy, and he's been called the Sexcellence of Sexecution once or twice. He's better than mustard on a corn dog. Mr. 187, Genocide.
They keep it real, I've been doing what I feel. I've been out here trying to kill every beat. I know I will. Everything I'm working on, every night another song. They've been quiet all along. They gon' notice when I'm gone. Everybody wanna copy you, but they're not you. Everybody wanna be cool, but they're not new. Whoa, look how I go. Gonna be a dentist, I still got the flow. Never gonna lose, cause I'm still doing both. Never gonna lose, cause I've been on the road. Come to your state and I'm killing the show. Know that I'm young and I still gotta grow. Know that I'm working the most, know I'm never gonna choke. And I'm looking back down on the people below. I've been keeping real, I've been